Alright guys, we are in game 2 of round 1 for Togg, Toucan, Nalyd, and Lain Iwakura. As we know, Togg and Toucan took the first victory, and now they're switching sides, so Toucan and Togg are going to be your PACT side, sorry, and then Nalyd and Lain are going to be the NATO side. Looks like Nalyd is doing an arrow rifle push, but if we're looking over here, we can see that Togg, I think, had a little bit of PTSD when having to fight for Alpha last time, and is like, not this time, I'm sending all the infantry. And then Toucan is trying something different. Instead of sending cheap tanks, it looks like he's actually sending cheap infantry. Well, Motostreki's not necessarily cheap, but still pretty good. And then we do have Lain and Nalyd following their same suit, where they have their planes flying in the air. Same thing with Lain, though. See, what caused them to fail was they weren't able to withstand the massive push from Toucan, and they're doing the same exact tactic they did last time, and I'm not sure if that's gonna work. Togg does call in a MiG-31M, and it's putting up a fight against that Falcon, and it might kill it, but then another one is coming to intercept it, and that MiG is very, very good at dodging things. Then look, so Nalyd has these air rifles, he's got to move them up quickly. There is a drop coming down that's going to land right on them. They managed to survive that fight. There's just a little bit of movement coming on over here. But once again, Lain, he must have did a lot of resources in planes or something, because he doesn't have a whole lot of infantry. He has one tank, or he's accumulating resources waiting to send a big push. Looks like Togg is like, not today. I will not let you take this town. Something I noticed, though, is that Togg and Toucan were on the same side both times, and I feel like that's a weird issue. Maybe it's on what side you're on when you host the match. Like, if you're hosting the match, you're always on this side no matter what. And I think that's something that needs to be looked at for our next tournament that's going to be happening April 30th. So just a little something that I think would be important, because playing on different sides, I know it shouldn't matter, but it can. Oh, we got an HE coming in. That's going to do some damage potentially, and it did, completely destroying their cover. Let's go over to this side. Once again, just kind of a slow push, but you can see what Toucan's doing, which I really like to do as infantry. You don't want to have your infantry out in the open, because the moment that happens, they could potentially see it and drop some hellfire on it. What you want to do is building hop. Something I think would be awesome that they could add is, you see these buildings that are multiple stories? What if you could choose verticality with your units, or they would just naturally choose the high ground? Then being in this building, well, maybe it already does, but what if being in this building gave you different line of sight because you're technically a little bit higher up? That'd be cool. Something else is he's doing another command unit, and maybe it's a tactic I don't fully understand, but that's an expensive unit. What you could do is done a lot more cheaper units, and then just was able to really fill out the city to try and stop that attack. They're also not putting anybody in the center, and that is a big point of winning, essentially, because these sides are going to be contested no matter what. But this side, if it's not, well, then that's just free points for the other team. I'm smart. It's a lot easier for me to say stuff when I can see everything, and I have no pressure. But yeah, Togg has definitely adapted and learned his lesson, and he now has these people ready to go. Unfortunately, these arrow rifles have nothing to stop this other that BRM. And then now this Phantom's in a little bit of trouble. Oh, he ain't gonna make it. Explosion. We do have a bit of a fight breaking out here. This Engineer Dragon versus 3 Motostrekis. And he is sending in some more help as well. Run, Motostrekis. So Lain has started to put a few more in there. He does have a Stinger, but they just get completely annihilated by something far away. Over on this side, Nalyd is trying to take back this city, and Togg has filled it up with Motostrekis. He put all of his focus in that infantry and then waited for another deployment of points to call in more command units. Toucan getting to the far right on his tanks has sights of these engineers. The engineers would move if they would have moved a little bit to the left. And Lain is looking for some anti-air to spot so he can destroy it. Lain as well playing the defensive with this tank. I don't really know if that's a very useful or viable tactic because look at the line of sight. And also, I would infantry can just cover it anyways. You could put some cheap infantry on each corner. Make sure that one is at least covered by, you know, your command unit. And I think that would serve a lot better. But that's just my opinion. Then it looks like these guys are completely encircled. But right now, I can't ever tell who the team is. The red team, which is Lain, they are winning with 222 to 40. So they are at an advantage for now, but they soon won't be. Well, actually, they're at an advantage point-wise, but they're about to be at a disadvantage because the other points are about to come in. And let's just, I just want to zoom in on this. Just like how sexy it is. And it's raining. Like how schmexy. Alright, sorry guys. Oh, he fired. I didn't even notice. Yeah, these guys are about to be completely encircled right now. Look how pretty this game is. We got some Motostreki building hopping. Zoom in on those cars. I want to see what I want to see the textures of those cars. It's moving ever so slowly, trying to find that infantry. Let's go over to this side, see what's happening over here. It looks like Nalyd was able to get a command unit in here, but there is a lot of infantry along these lines. He does have some more mech rifles coming in. This Abrams just did a little shoot and scoot. And the M3A1 Bradley, which I think is the sexiest model in the game. Over here on this side, yep, it's just him again. Once again, we're back to, you know, the same sort of issue where they just can't seem to hold the right side at all. Like, it's just something where they don't have any infantry helping out. And we got a cluster coming. Cluster is dropping right on those units. Is he gonna hit? He was trying to guess, and he lost his plane in the process, but he was trying to guess where this guy was, and he almost guessed correctly. Let's go over here. As you can see, Toucan is just slowly pushing up. I'm sure there's going to be a command vehicle called in. Yep, right there. So yeah, when you go to the front lines, you want to use one of your better command tanks if you can, or command infantry. Because then if you have your command tanks, they can kill a lot, and they can take a brunt of the damage. And then also, you know, if there are new people watching this, you know, I'm not that good, I'm not trying to say I am. But if you have like these command tanks, they actually increase your veteran, just any command unit will increase the veterancy of anybody in its radius. So always, if you have a command tank, put some AA by it, and then don't use your elites, because that's a waste, put them elsewhere, but use your veteran, and then it'll put your AA up to elite as long as they're next to those command vehicles. Also really good for, you know, infantry to protect the, you know, the command vehicle as well. Oh, anyhoozle. Let's go over here now. Looks like we do have they have sights on this infantry over here, these mech rifles. And Togg is firing on those infantry units. Those tanks are right up each other's ass. That gunner is almost in that tank's asshole. It's like, bro, back up. Oh, that vehicle gets blown up. Wasn't sure what type of vehicle it was. Probably just some transport. Yeah, just some transport vehicle. And as you can see, nothing to stop them. He's even able to get recon over there. I'm sure he's going to probably send one of those recons all the way up here to find one of their other units. Wouldn't be surprised. This Apache is trying its damnedest, though. But it's not going to be enough. Going back over here, Togg is putting up quite a fight right now. Do see a tow missile coming in. If that hits, it's probably going to kill it. Oh, it gets it with a side shot, but I didn't notice any damage there. The tank fires. That's one tank down. An A-10 Thunderbolt. doesn't even destroy the tank, and it's probably going to get killed. Well, that's out of ammo, though. Well, that was good timing for the A-10 Thunderbolt. Well, yep, and it's not going to be able to fire in time. We have another M1 Abrams right here, and Togg is just not giving up. He's focusing fully on infantry, and as he should, because the Motor Strike, he have really good infantry. And as we can see, once again, they have taken over the right, but this time, Togg was able to adapt and is not letting Nalyd get any ground. And Nalyd is going to have to do something, it's going to have to be creative here, because they're in a lot of trouble right now. And like we said, even if they have to win by a large margin if they want to go to the next round, they're going to have to get a total victory if they want to win, and then, or a major victory if they want to draw. Man, if there is any type of cluster units, now is the time. It's good to have a lot of infantry, but look at all this other side of the village over here, or town, or whatever you want to call it. There's all this. If he spreads them out, but man, if I was Nalyd and if I knew about this, I'd be dropping a cluster bomb right on him. Looks like Togg was guessing. He thinks he's being flanked, which is a fair guess. The fog of war can do that. Once again, Lain, unfortunately, is not able to stop Toucan. Sorry, Toucan, that I'm not showing a lot of your gameplay, but a lot of it is just you chilling in towns. Yep, and he's doing an artillery strike, and it's doing some damage. Just killed a unit. If he does an artillery strike and a cluster bomb, or an HE, they're in a lot of trouble. Lain is waiting to move up his engineers, but I think that BMP might see them. And they have a very well defended area in Delta surrounding the edges. And Togg is slowly losing his infantry. They have him completely surrounded, and they're moving up the infantry here. Slowly encroaching on them, so Nalyd might be able to overtake this side if Togg cannot react in time. They're trying to do a 3-person push with a Stinger, an infantry rifle, infantrymen, and a mech rifle. With all that, I don't anticipate it to be successful. Togg is bringing in 2 T-80BBs. This M1 Abrams doesn't see them yet, and I don't think these mech rifles should. At this time, the lead will probably peek out the M1 Abrams and get a side shot. There it is. Oh, the weasels. So he brought in weasels to kill this, to kill that anti-air, and it does. 3 weasels. And here comes the M1 Abrams peeking out its head. Side shot. If he doesn't move that tank back, it's going to get killed. That's 1 down. Misses on these T-80Bs, BBs. Planes flying over, infantrymen blowing up, explosions everywhere. The M1 Abrams is just trying its best to get this T-80BB, and the lead is starting to make a push. As you can see, he's ordering even more infantry units, and the T-80BB is gone, with another M1 Abrams mopping it up. And that artillery strike, like I said, since there were so many infantrymen in one spot, they unfortunately were killed. Back over here now, it looks like they were able to move this in, but they probably saw where it came from, and Captain Toucan is calling in some additional reinforcements because he doesn't have to worry about this side. He's got all of his sides set up. He's got his 2 recon units. Let's see if he's doing anything sneaky. He's not. He's got a recon unit here and here. The only way is if Lain ordered a ton of infantry and then sent them all through the woods. But right now, it's looking like it's going to be a bit of a slog for Lain and Nalyd to catch up to this. But Nalyd is doing what he does, which is pushing forward, being resilient. And as this is happening, we do have a, oh, would you look at that, a Spetsnaz unit. I wonder what Captain Toucan is going to plan with that. He's even sending in some saparis, whatever you want to say, trying to find where these guys are with a very sneaky, because he's, like I said, he has this completely set up. He doesn't need to worry about it. And then here comes a cluster strike. Let's see if it's a successful one. I mean, it probably will be, because there's only one spot they can be, right? And it is. That's going to make a difference. And then an HE strike. Is this command unit going to survive? Just barely. And then the infantry is going to come in and mop it up. What a perfect string of attacks. Really impressive. And they're just trying to kill these planes. Like, stop it. I always wonder what your opinion is. Do you think having just, you know, okay planes, but you have more? Or do you think having really, really good planes? Because I feel like with RNG on AA, it's probably, I'd rather just have some okay planes and just have more. But it looks like Nalyd was able to take out all of that infantry, and I think if Togg would have dispersed his men more in the city, kind of like what you see here with Toucan, a little jumbled up, but everybody's kind of supports each other, but they're not all in one spot. I know it's easier here because the city's much larger, but that way if there was a strike, there wouldn't be, you know, you wouldn't lose all your men at once. And I'm sure now that that just happened, we'll probably see some planes flying in soon. Always got to be aware. When you play this, you want to try and be zoomed out about this much. It can be difficult at times. You can zoom in really quick, but if you're like this, you know, you'll see changes a little bit more. The only thing that sucks is the units when they stack so much. You're like, gosh, I can't even see. Looks like they didn't call it in. Where did that Spetsnaz unit go? So, okay. Lucky bastard. He's trying to be sneaky. He's like, I gotta land. Yeah, there's the cluster, told you. What'd I say? And then they sit in there fighting Falcons. That should kill it, but this is gonna kill him. No, he's still alive. He needs to get him back in the woods. Get him like right over here, maybe. They took out that other plane, and then here comes the Spetsnaz. There goes that guy. Let's go back over here. Looks like Lain was able to kind of walk around, but man, look at all this infantry here from Toucan. EMPs. And then Nalyd over here found and then there you go, just like that, he took it. There are 3 tanks, but there's 2 Abrams right here, and a lot of Heimatschützens. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm curious how this is going to go. Oh, there goes those mech rifles. Looks like, do I hear a Thunderbolt? Yeah. That T-80B's got to move back. He lost his other tanks already. There goes their some of their supply. I mean, blowing them up isn't a terrible idea because a lot of people don't have a whole lot of supply units. They'll kind of just have a few, depending on what they prioritize. Ah! A-10s. He's microing the A-10. And Lain just can't seem to get a foothold, and he's not going to. If he wants to get a foothold... Oh wait, hold on, I almost forgot about this guy. Snuck right by... That's why I like the M1 Abrams. It has no sightlines. Like, none. And the thing is, these dudes even have an RPG. Like, they probably are going to kill the tank. He has no sightlines. What you need to do, if you're going to do this... I see his infantry here, but look, they can't even... They probably don't even have sights on the command unit. So I think you got to get these guys, like, kind of closer together. And then if you're going to do this, just have some cheap infantry covering all possible entry points and use the line of sight tool. So like, alright, well, I doubt he's going to come from over here, you know. But, I don't know. My opinion, I've been snuck on before like crazy, and there they go back to getting points. They really got to do something. At this point, you know, you just got to forget about this. Maybe you try taking Charlie again, like you did last time. Nalyd is doing a great job with taking this small town. Now it's you gotta focus and say, all right, my infantry's in a good spot. You got these guys well hidden in the trees. Now it's full on. All right, let's take Delta. Oh man, and this recon unit, are they gonna see this guy? So he doesn't see him. He's just telling him to go somewhere, and he's focusing somewhere else. And he completely misses that there was a recon unit coming towards his command unit. And he was probably, and then now he's gonna like get his scouts, and he's like, "What the hell? My guys are already injured. How'd that happen? Is this a bug?" And he has no idea. And then during this whole time, I don't even know if he knows about this. See, Toucan's microing like crazy because he doesn't have to worry about anything. He's like, "Yeah, these guys are good." And he's like, "Oh, found them. I know exactly where they are." Even if they die here, which they probably won't, he's just gonna bomb them. And this entire time, Lain is focusing on this side, probably looking like what I'm doing and just doing this, like do 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 do. And then he's gonna be like, "All right, cool. So, wait, what?" Because I'm not seeing, and now he's actually, his engineers are actually moving out, and then there you go. Now they're gonna be at an even bigger advantage, and that's gonna make it really difficult to catch up. And he kills their command unit, so now they're gonna have to order another command unit, send them over here. Definitely huge, huge blow. But we do have a big push from the tanks. That AA just blew up a helicopter. Togg and Toucan are on 75%. And I think they kind of got wind. Yeah, they're probably going to attack. Nalyd, I think, is trying to do a desperation play, which is to attack the upper side, or maybe he's going to try and go through the woods. I'm not sure. And then here comes Lain with some mech rifles. Not sure what the resistance is. He's sending a good amount of infantry, but at this point, this infantry, he should just send through the woods here to try and attack Delta. And Toucan probably gonna send these tanks. And look at this, Togg's just like, "No, I'm not letting this happen again." I think Togg once again is just like, "Yeah, I can't beat that onslaught." What happened to all of his units? Oh, they're over here. Does he still not realize that? I don't think he knows, or he just is choosing not to. But yeah, it's at +5. They're really gonna have to do something here. They have these 3 units. Those 3 units should be able to kill these Monostruckies. Well, once a Stinger. So Lain seems to like to do a certain thing where he has a mech rifle, Stinger, and this, which is fair. 90% threshold. They gotta do something. Whereas right now, he's not even moving these units. They're just sitting here. At this point in time, he could have moved these guys up here at least to make it, you know, +3. And then you gotta press these guys in here now if you want to stop their advantage. Like, they have to do something. And here comes Toucan with a T-80U attack. They gotta hurry. I think Lain now just realized what was happening, maybe. Or they're just too distraught. Cool little convoy. It's gonna get absolutely wrecked. You gotta move your guys up. Here they come. So it begins. Lain has a very cool looking Apache. And here comes the tanks to try and stop this attack, but it's not going to be enough time. They took too long. And that's going to be the end. A total defeat from Nalyd and Lain, and a total victory from Captain Toucan and Togg. Unfortunately, with that sneaky Spetsnaz attack, some Navy SEALs type shit, he was able to take out that command vehicle, and then through the craziness of the battle, they unfortunately didn't see that they were losing those points, or they were focused elsewhere and they just couldn't do it. I don't know that part, but you know, you learn a lot of things with this. One thing, I think Nalyd and Lain are a very, very good team, but unfortunately, we didn't have enough focus, or they didn't have enough focus on the right side. I think if Lain would have moved over and said, "You know what, I'm going to send a lot of infantry in this city," because obviously Toucan really wants to take it. If you would have sent in just a good amount of infantry, spread them out throughout the city, Toucan wouldn't have been able to press as far, and then all of a sudden his focus has to be different, and he can't do that recon attack in the back because he's having to focus on more micro. So I think that was kind of a big focus for their team, and I think they might have won a couple, like one of the games if they would have done that. But that is going to be the end of this round for Nalyd and Lain, but it's only the beginning for Captain Toucan and Togg. So, like I kind of said, this was a smaller tournament. We did 2v2s. We had a ton of people join yesterday after my first video posted. And I'm very excited to say that because of the amount of people that have joined, we're actually going to be starting a new tournament on April 30th to find out who is the new King of Noobs. We are going to do it a little differently, though. So Captain Toucan and Togg, Nalyd, Lain, all the people in this tournament, it was kind of like a practice round to see who would be the captains for the next tournament. So the way that the new tournament will go, it's going to actually be, you're going to have captains, and then you're going to have a trainee. So it's going to be someone who's somewhat experienced and someone who is not. So then to kind of help it be more even. But this was kind of our way of doing a little test round to see how our tournaments would go. But this isn't the end yet. Captain Toucan and Togg will now be going into the finale to do the King of Noobs to fight against Taurus and Fear. And who will win? I have no idea. We'll never know. Actually, we will whenever I post my next episode. I'm hoping that I'll have that recorded soon for you guys. And then it's going to be 2 games. Both of the games go down to the absolute wire. So very, very fun matches coming up. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching this tournament. And I will see you in the next one.